When playing the trumpet, it is important to sit with proper posture. This will allow you to take proper breaths and hold your instrument correctly. To sit correctly, make sure your back is away from the back of the chair. Keep your spine elongated and tall, but keep your shoulders relaxed. Sit with your feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart, with your ankles directly below your knees. It is important that you are comfortable when sitting correctly, so practice sitting like this whenever you play your instrument. Watch as Chelsea demonstrates the proper way to hold the trumpet. Then we will do this together. First, she will pick up the trumpet and gently place her mouthpiece in the receiver, giving it 1/4 turn to be sure the mouthpiece is securely set in the receiver. She will set the bell of her trumpet on her right leg with the bottom of the valves facing toward her. She takes her left hand and wraps it around the valve casings. Her thumb will go above the first valve slide. Since there is a hook on the first valve slide, she will place her thumb in that hook. Her left index finger will wrap around the third valve casing. If your trumpet has a third valve slide with a ring or hook, you should place either your ring finger or your middle finger in that ring. Choose the finger which provides you with the most flexibility in moving your third valve slide. Your pinky can either go above or below the third valve slide. Now, sitting with proper posture and her head elevated, Chelsea will hold her trumpet in front of her, using only her left hand. Your left hand should support the entire weight of the trumpet. She will place the mouthpiece on her lips in the proper position. In this position, the trumpet should have a slight downward angle. Keep your wrist strong, your left elbow down, and your shoulder relaxed in this position. Now try this with Chelsea. First, pick up the trumpet. Gently place your mouthpiece in the receiver, giving it 1/4 turn to be sure the mouthpiece is securely set in the receiver. Return to proper posture with the instrument flat on your lap, with the valve casings facing up and the bell facing to your right. Now set the bell of your trumpet on your right leg with the bottom of the valves facing you. Take your left hand and wrap it around the valve casings. Your thumb should go above the first valve slide. If there is a hook on the first valve slide, place your thumb in the hook, as Chelsea is doing here. Your left index finger should wrap around the third valve casing. If your third valve slide has a hook or ring, you can place either your middle or ring finger in the hook. Choose the finger that works best for you, depending on your hand size. Your pinky can either go above or below the third valve slide. Now, sitting with proper posture and your head elevated, hold your trumpet in front of you using your left hand. Your left hand should support the entire weight of the trumpet. Now, place your mouthpiece on your lips in the proper position. The trumpet should have a slight downward angle. Now, return the trumpet bell to your right leg. Press pause and practice setting your left hand correctly several times, remembering these important steps. Now that we have the left hand set correctly, let's get our right hand set. Watch again as Chelsea demonstrates the proper way to set the right hand. First, she will make a natural C with her right hand, with her fingers curved and open, as if holding a softball. Next, she will raise her trumpet up with her left hand, as she did before. Place her right thumb between the first and second valve casings, and let her fingertips rest on the valves. Her pinky will sit on top of the hook or ring. It should not go in the ring. It should always rest on top of the hook. Her fingers are still round, with her second knuckle being the highest point of her fingers. Your fingertips should be touching the white part of the valves at all times. This is their home position. Also notice that Chelsea's right wrist is straight. When she presses the valves down, her fingers remain rounded and curved. You should not let your finger joints bend backwards, as this can limit finger movement. Also, you should not let fingers overlap the valves. She is careful to press the valves straight into the valve casing, not at an angle. Pressing the valves at an angle can damage the instrument or cause your valves to not work properly. Correct right hand position will allow you to move your fingers freely when needed. Now let's set our right hands together. First, make a natural C with your right hand with your fingers curved and open, as if holding a softball. Raise your trumpet up with your left hand as we did before. Now place your right thumb between the first and second valve casings, and let your fingertips rest on the valves. Your pinky should sit on top of the hook or ring. It should not go in the ring. Your fingers should still be round, with your second knuckle as the highest point of your fingers. Your fingertips should be touching the white part of the valves at all times. This is their home position. Check to be sure that your right wrist is straight, your elbow is down, and your shoulders are relaxed. When pressing the valves down, keep your fingers curved. Now press pause and practice setting your trumpet in the correct position several times, remembering these important steps. Finally, set the bell of your instrument on your right leg with both hands in the correct position. This is called the ready position. Now bring the instrument up and the mouthpiece to your mouth with Chelsea. Check to make sure you have the correct left and right hand position as well. This is called playing position. Your head should remain slightly elevated and the trumpet should be at a slightly downward angle. Also, since your right hand is directly in your line of sight, this makes it easy for you to check for proper hand position. Now go back to ready position. Sitting with proper posture and playing position is an important aspect of playing the trumpet. Each time you practice, focus on one of these essential elements of playing position. Be sure your feet are flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart, with your ankles directly below your knees. Make sure your back is away from the back of the chair and that your spine is elongated and tall. Be sure your shoulders are relaxed. Bring the instrument to you. Do not hunch or lean toward the instrument. Support the weight of the trumpet with your left hand. Set your left hand correctly with your thumb in the first valve slide hook and your second or third finger in the third valve slide ring. Be sure your right thumb is between the first and second valve casings. Make sure your right wrist is straight and that your fingers are curved with the second knuckle as the highest point. Finally, be certain that your fingertips are on the valves and that your pinky is resting on the hook or ring. Sitting with proper posture and holding your instrument with the correct hand position is an important part of playing the trumpet.